By the end of this video, you'll know how to use the Sketch Circular Pattern tool in Fusion 360. The Sketch Circular Pattern tool can be activated from the Sketch dropdown list or from the right-click Sketch menu. It's important to note that there is also a circular pattern tool located in the Create dropdown list, which works with three-dimensional objects, including faces, bodies, features, and components. However, the Sketch Circular Pattern tool, which I'll demo in this video, only works with two-dimensional sketch geometry. Be sure to stick around until the very end of this video, where I'll talk about some best practices on when to use the Sketch tool versus the Modeling Circular Pattern tool. The Sketch Circular Pattern tool comes in handy when you need to copy sketch geometry around a center point. The Circular Pattern tool feature gives you control over the size and the spacing of the geometry without having to recreate each copy of geometry from scratch. For this tutorial, I'm going to use some demo geometry that I've gone ahead and set up. If you'd like to follow along, you can click the link down below in the video description to download the demo file. You'll see that I have a small circle within the larger circle. I want this smaller circle to be copied 6 times around the inside of the large circle. I could technically draw out the circles one by one, but a more efficient way would be to use the Sketch Circular Pattern tool. So I'll activate the Circular Pattern tool from the Sketch dropdown list. You'll notice in the Circular Pattern dialog box, the first thing we need to do is select the objects or sketch geometry to pattern. I'll simply select the small circle. Then, we need to define the center point of the circle in which the circular pattern will revolve around. For this example, I'll select the center point of the large circle. I should also point out that you can also use the center point of arc types, including all 3 that are available in Fusion 360. After defining the center point, you'll see that we can now define the quantity or how many times we want our selected objects to be patterned. You can either type out the number in the input box, you can use the up or down arrows, or you can always drag the blue manipulator to increase or decrease the quantity. If I zoom in just a bit, you'll see that the blue manipulator has the plus sign and a minus sign next to it, but it only appears while I'm clicking on it. The third option in the circular pattern dialog box is the type of pattern. The type always defaults to the full option. However, you'll see that we can also change the type option to angle. After selecting the angle option, you'll be able to define the total angle by typing out a specific degree in the input field. Or you can always drag the blue directional arrow to manually adjust the degree of the total angle. The last type option that is available would be the symmetric option. If I select symmetric from the list, you'll see that the selected objects are symmetric or have the same number on both sides. One important thing to note with the symmetry option is that if you have an even number, the axis of symmetry will shift. For example, if I have 6 as the quantity, you'll see that the line of symmetry is actually between the first 2 pieces of sketch geometry. However, if I have an odd number of objects, then the line of symmetry will run directly down the first piece of geometry. Once again, I can use the quantity input in the dialog box or the manipulators to change the number of instances. In this case, I'll set the type back to full, and I'll increase the quantity or the number of instances to 8. The last thing to point out, and something that is often overlooked, is the fact that you can unselect specific instances if you want them removed. I'll deselect two different instances and notice how this doesn't affect the full type or the spacing of the sketch geometry. The ability to deselect specific instances comes in handy when you're using the circular pattern feature, but you need to omit parts of the geometry based on the design of your model. Last but not least, you'll see that there is a suppress option in the circular pattern dialog box. If I deselect the suppress option, you'll notice the checkboxes go away in the sketch geometry. So if you want to ensure you don't accidentally uncheck a piece of geometry, or if you just want to hide the boxes so they're out of the way, then you'll want to deselect the suppress option in the dialog box. At this point, I have 6 pieces of geometry, which is what I originally wanted, so I'll click OK in the dialog box. Now, the biggest benefit of using one of the pattern tools in Fusion 360 is the fact that you can update the original sketch geometry, and the rest will update accordingly. For example, I can double click on the small circle's dimension, and if I type out 12 millimeters instead of 15, and then click the Enter key on my keyboard, you'll notice the other 5 circles update accordingly. If I were to change the dimension for the spacing from 12 millimeters to 15 millimeters, then you'll notice once again all 5 of the pattern instances update accordingly. The last benefit of using the Sketch Circular Pattern tool is that you can update the number of instances later on should your design requirements ever change. You'll notice near the large circle's center point that there is a circular pattern constraint icon. If I double click on the circular pattern constraint, it will open up the circular pattern dialog box once again. Notice it now says Edit in the dialog box title. This allows you to change any of the details of the circular pattern, including reselecting any of the specific instances that were previously deselected. I'll reselect both instances and then I'll change the total quantity to 6. For now, I'll click the OK button to confirm the results. In some scenarios, you may want to break the pattern after you've created it. To do so, you can always click on the circular pattern constraint icon and then click the delete key on your keyboard. If I were to then update the original small circle, you'll notice the other circles are not affected. However, I recommend that you delete the patterning constraint with caution, as once you delete it, you won't be able to reapply it like the other sketch constraints, other than your ability to hit the undo button to revert the most recent steps. As promised, I wanted to take a moment to talk about when you should use the sketch pattern tools and when you should use the create or three-dimensional pattern tools. The three-dimensional pattern tools should be used 95% of the time or the majority of the time, and there's a few important reasons. First, they provide better overall performance in Fusion 360. Complex sketches are harder for Fusion 360 to process, so using the patterning tools in the sketch environment can really slow down your model's performance. Second, the three-dimensional pattern tools can actually be more efficient than the sketch ones, because you can pattern multiple features at once. For example, if I wanted to cut these circles out and add a fillet to each side, I could simply do this to the first circle and then pattern both the extrude cut and the fillet at the same time. This also makes it easier to update and keep track of features, especially when many components are involved in complex assembly models. Ultimately, you'll only want to use the sketch patterning tools when you need to create unique sketch profiles that would be hard to create otherwise. If I double click on the second sketch in the timeline to open it up, you'll see that I have a circle with a rectangle. I'm going to pattern this rectangle around, and I'll make the type angle so I can bunch them closer together. If I now confirm this pattern type, I can use the extrude command from the toolbar, and I can extrude this pattern while omitting some of those gaps in between. Obviously, this is one really specific use case and pattern, but the point is, there are really only a handful of scenarios when you're better off using the sketch circular pattern over the model circular pattern tool. With that said, which patterning tool you use is ultimately your choice, and your performance can also vary based on your computer's specifications. In summary, the circular pattern tool allows you to recreate and copy selected sketch objects around a specified center point. In most scenarios, you'll get better performance and more efficient results if you use the model patterning tools. However, in some very specific use cases, you may find the sketch circular pattern tool to be useful. If you made it to the end of this video, then please let me know by commenting below if you've ever had performance issues when using the sketch pattern tools. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this tutorial. So if you've enjoyed this tutorial, please click that thumbs up icon and click on that playlist in the lower right hand corner to watch more Fusion 360 sketch tutorials. If you're new to the channel, be sure to click that red subscribe button and click that little bell icon to be notified of more Fusion 360 tutorials.